Hello and welcome to Unit 1, Part 1, What is Graphic Design? Let's go ahead and get started. In Unit 1, What is Graphic Design? We're going to cover the types of graphic design, careers in graphic design, the design elements and principles, as well as copyright, and the styles and trends in graphic design for this year, and also how you can reach current designs from previous years. The assignments that we're going to be doing for this unit are going to be share an object icebreaker activity, as well as a student survey, which you'll complete the first day. Your signed contract is going to be due at the end of the first week, and the elements and principles of design Google Slides. Scrolling back to the options menu at the top of the website, you can get to all of the other lessons that we'll be covering over the course of the year. So currently in Unit 1, What is Graphic Design? You can see the different topics that I just mentioned that we'll be covering. So going into Unit 1, Graphic Design, that's the home page here. So we're going to click on the second one, Types of Graphic Design and Careers. Okay, so on this page, it's going to give you a little bit more information about what a graphic designer does, and then specific career choices that you can potentially go into with graphic design. So what is a graphic designer? Graphic designers are visual problem solvers who tackle challenges with creative thinking and strategic use of color, typography, imagery, and spacing. Working on many diverse, different types of graphic design projects from concept to completion, designers may work in agencies or in a company marketing or a creative department. So here's a few different types of graphic design. One is going to be the brand and identity / logo design. This is kind of what you think of as a graphic designer typically. They're going to be kind of creating a brand, visual elements for a brand for their company. So you can see the example that's down here below of a company that had a business card created before and then after with better marketing skills as far as creating a better visual logo, better typography and organization of space. So you can see here they're focusing on the color palette, typography use, the image style, and just the general look and feel of the design to improve upon or create something brand new for that specific company. If we go down to the second type here, it's going to kind of be building on what we just talked about. Package design kind of takes it to a new level because not only are you thinking about this flat space that you're creating a logo for or a basic flyer for, this time we're going to be creating all elements of the package design. You also have to work with other people to be able to create these three-dimensional spaces that you're going to be designing on. So some examples of programs that you might use, of course, the Adobe Creative Suite is going to be something that you'll use for all elements of graphic design. 3D software programs and photography also is included in the packaging designs. However, many graphic designers will use a photographer and combine efforts with them to make the final product. Layout and print design. There are so many different things that you're going to see on a daily basis out in the world now that we're starting to think about graphic design and looking at the different elements of how things are put together. Anything that you pick up was designed by someone, and even the box of cereal that you open in the morning was done by a graphic designer. So you can start to kind of criticize and look at all the different elements that you're seeing that we'll talk about in class on these day-to-day objects that you'll see. So you can see that there's some different options here. There's posters, calendars, little flyers that are sent out, anything from that to sales cards that you might get in the mail, right? All these are thinking about the composition of space, the page elements that are included, different font sizes, how to choose the right font, style choices. This time you're not choosing my favorite style, we're choosing the style that the company is hiring you to do. Just spacing and image sizing and positioning on the page to make it flow through the space so the reader sees what you want them to see when you want them to see it. Okay, the next one here is computer graphics or illustration. So this would be more for the artist that wants to draw and create digitally on the computer. And that's definitely a possibility. Actually, when we are in the classroom, we do have a set of iPads, which if you're interested in using, you can do. You can also use them at home. If you have your own iPad, there are programs that I will tell you about later that you can use to be able to draw and create, to be able to add into your graphic designs that you're making for class. Again, they're going to be working closely with clients to some aspect. You get a little bit more creative skill as far as freedom to be able to add in things that you want, but you're still following the style that you're hired to create. So that's going to be a common trend that you see here in graphic design. You are being hired by a company to create something most of the time, so you're going to have to be able to be versatile in the different styles that you can create in. And then my last thing I have on here for you, some closely related items. Web design is another class that you can actually take here at Homewood-Flossmoor High School. It does relate directly to graphic design as far as digitally manipulating, laying out spaces on the computer, but you do get to learn how to code. Virtual reality is actually part of that class too, and you'll see a lot of correlation between those. And 3D modeling is actually something that we will touch on in graphic design. We'll be using Adobe Dimension to be able to create 3D models. You can also 3D model in Adobe Photoshop. Not something that we're going to be covering, but if you're interested in that, I can definitely show you more. But all things that go right along with those categories that are not directly graphic design, but relate to our class.